Welcome back to Unseen Author Journeys. I'm Luigi Pascal Rondanini. We've come a long way in this series. In episode 1, we talked about why rejection isn't personal, it's economics. In episode 2, we pulled back the curtain on the publisher's perspective. We showed you the 3-part framework they use. We revealed that break-even point of about 2,000 copies. Then, in episode 3, we tackled platform building. I gave you permission to stop panicking. You don't need to be everywhere. You need 30 minutes a week across 3 channels. That's it. Evidence, not fame. And in episode 4, we went behind the agent's door. We showed you the 30-second first impression, the invisible yes factors that make you easy to champion, and the brutal reality. A dozen people have to say yes before your book gets a deal. Now, here's where it all converges. So, I got about a dozen messages from listeners this week. Same question, different wording. Luigi, I understand the business now, but how much do authors actually make? If I do all of this, build platform, write the book, get the agent, get the publisher, will this change my life financially? Or am I basically working for free? And I realized something. Understanding the business means nothing if you don't understand the money. So today, we're getting uncomfortable. We're talking about what authors actually earn, not what they dream about earning, what they actually take home. Because if we're going to play this game strategically, if we're going to build platforms sustainably, pitch smartly, and make real decisions about our writing life, we need to know the financial reality. Not to discourage you, to prepare you, to empower you. There's a difference. Let me start with a stat that's going to sting a little. A 2023 Authors Guild survey found that the median author income from writing-related activities is around £2,000 per year. £2,000. Not pounds per book, per year, from all writing. Now, that includes people with traditionally published books, self-published books, freelancers, workshop facilitators. The whole ecosystem. But the point is this: very few authors can live on book sales alone. And if you're thinking, well, I'll be in the top percentile, I respect the optimism. But let's look at what actually happens with a book deal. You get offered a contract. Exciting, right? The publisher says they want your book. Here's what they typically offer: an advance. Let's say £3,000 for a debut author. That sounds great until you realize that's not profit. That's money the publisher is lending you against future royalties. So you don't see another pound until your book sells enough copies to earn out that advance. At £2 to £3 per copy profit, that means you need to sell about 1,000 to 1,500 copies just to break even on your advance. Most books don't hit that. And here's the part that really stings. Your advance is the only guaranteed money you'll see. Even if your book tanks, you keep the advance, but you also don't see royalties. You're done. Remember in episode 2, when we talked about the publisher's math? They invest £5,000 to £7,000 and need to sell about 2,000 copies to break even? Well, now we're on the other side. You're the author, and here's how the money actually flows to you. If your book is traditionally published and it retails at £15, you don't get £15. You get a percentage of net receipts. For a paperback, that's typically 10% of the retail price, so about £1.50 per book. For an ebook, you might get 25% of net receipts. That could be 70 pence to £1 per copy. For hardcover, you might get 10% on the first 5,000 copies, then 12.5%, then 15%. It's tiered. So let's do the math on a successful book. And remember, we're talking top 2% here. Say your book sells 5,000 copies. That's actually quite good. 5,000 copies times £1.50 per paperback equals £7,500. But wait, you remember the advance from episode 4? That contract you signed? The publisher already paid you upfront. let's say £3,000. So that's 7,500 is money to pay back that advance. The additional earnings on top are only 4,500. And here's the thing, that £3,000 advance was probably the only guaranteed money you'll see from that publisher. Even if your book doesn't break even, you keep the advance. But you also don't see any royalties after that. So let's look at the real picture. You got £3,000 up front, your advance. Your book sold 5,000 copies. You earned 4,500 more in royalties. Total from that book, £7,500. Over 18 to 24 months of work getting that book published. Through the submission process, the agent's negotiations, the publisher's edits, the marketing, all of it. That's not a career-changing number. That's modest income. And you've already spent time building platform from episode 3, making yourself easy to pitch from episode 4, and navigating the publisher's approval chain. Most books don't hit even 5,000 copies. Remember episode 2, 98% of books sell fewer than 5,000. So the reality is, if you're hoping a single book deal will pay your rent, it probably won't. Here's what's interesting. The authors making real money aren't usually making it from royalties alone. They're making it from the ecosystem around the book. Let me explain. Say you write a business book about marketing. It sells 10,000 copies. You make maybe £15,000 in royalties. That's solid. But because you have 10,000 readers, you can now charge £5,000 for a workshop, sell online courses to your audience, get speaking fees, £2,000 to £10,000 per event. Offer consulting. Suddenly you're making 50,000, 100,000, sometimes more. The book isn't the product. The book is the credential. The book says, this person knows what they're talking about. And that credential opens doors. That's why platform matters so much. That's why publishers care about your reach. Because they know, even if the book doesn't earn big royalties, the book creates opportunities for you to earn other ways. You become more valuable, more hireable, more credible, and the publisher gets a cut of nothing. But they hope you'll publish your next book with them too. Okay, so let's break down the 3 main publishing paths and what the economics look like. And here's where episodes 3 and 4 become crucial. Remember, the 30 minutes a week, 3 channels from episode 3, and the invisible yes factors from episode 4. Those directly impact your earning potential across all these paths. Traditional publishing. Advance, £2,000 to £10,000, typically lower for debut. Royalties per copy, £1 to £2.50 depending on format. Break-even point, 1,000 to 5,000 copies. Timeline to earning, 18 to 24 months. Your investment, 0. The publisher funds it. Your effort, high. Marketing, platform building, speaking. The platform you built in episode 3, that newsletter with 500 engaged readers, or that social channel with real engagement, this matters enormously. In episode 4, we talked about the invisible yes factors that make agents and editors want to work with you. One of those biggest factors? Proof that you can help move copies. The platform isn't about ego. It's about economics. If you walk in with 500 engaged readers, you've already reduced the publisher's risk. They see a path to the 2,000 copies we talked about in episode 2. Upside, credibility, distribution, bookstore placement. Downside, slow, low control, limited royalties even if successful. Self-publishing. Advance, 0. Revenue per copy, £5 to £8. You set the price, keep most revenue. Break-even point, 200 to 500 copies because you set price higher. Timeline to earning, immediate, first sales. Your investment, £2,000 to £5,000 upfront for editing, design, marketing. Your effort, extremely high. You do everything. This path is where Episode 3's platform becomes your greatest competitive advantage. Those 500 engaged readers from 30 minutes a week, they're your core audience. They're your first buyers. You're not depending on the 12-person approval chain from Episode 4. You're selling directly to people who already know and trust you. Your break-even point is lower because you have platform proof. Upside: speed, control, higher per unit earnings, keep more money. Downside: no bookstore placement, you fund it all, no validation stamp. Hybrid and multimedia publishing. This is what we do at Rondanini. Advance varies, sometimes paid advances. Revenue streams: book sales, plus podcasts, plus music, plus community, plus sponsorships. Break-even point: lower because of multiple income sources. Timeline: fast, 3 to 6 months to market. Your investment: collaborative, shared investment with publisher. Your effort: high, content creation across formats. This model directly addresses everything we've been discussing across episodes 1 through 4. You're not betting solely on the publisher's 12-person approval chain from episode 4. You're not nervous about the break-even math from episode 2 because you're not just selling books. Your platform from episode 3 works across all formats. Newsletter readers become podcast listeners. Podcast listeners discover your music. Music fans join your book community. And you're building an ecosystem that reduces risk for both you and the publisher. Upside: diversified income, smaller break-even, experimental work viable, audience across platforms. Downside: more complex, requires multimedia skills or collaboration, newer model. The numbers game: a traditionally published author might spend 2 years working on a book, promoting that platform from episode 3, getting past the agent's gatekeeping from episode 4, and negotiating with the publisher from episode 2. Then earn £5,000 in the first year. That's £2.50 per hour if you count all the effort. A self-published author might invest £4,000, spend 6 months promoting with the platform they built in episode 3, sell 1,000 copies, and make £4,000 profit in the first year. That's better, but still modest, though the time to earnings is much faster. A multimedia author might publish a book for £2,000 investment, plus a podcast for relatively free with your time, plus partner music on revenue share, and reach 10,000 people across formats. Not all following the same channel. Some discovered through the book, some through the podcast, some through Spotify. That diversification means you're not just hoping for the single 2,000 copy break-even. You're building multiple income streams, speaking gigs, workshops, consulting. The first year earnings might be £15,000 to £30,000, but heavily weighted toward those secondary opportunities the ecosystem created. None of these paths make most authors wealthy from the book alone, but they can transform your credibility, your network, your income potential. And that transformation? That starts with understanding you need to play the long game. Here's what I want you to understand. You can't publish a book and retire. You can publish a book and transform your credibility, your network, your income potential. Those are different things. And knowing the difference changes your entire approach. If you're publishing to make money from royalties, you're going to be disappointed. Almost certainly. But if you're publishing to establish authority, build an audience, and create doors that didn't exist before, that's real, that's provable. That's why we talk about platform so much in this podcast. Because platform isn't just about publishing, it's about what comes after. It's about the people who care about your work. And those people, the ones who read your newsletter, listen to your podcast, engage with your content, those people will buy your book, pay for your courses, hire you for speaking, recommend you for opportunities, become members of your community. That's the real income. The book is the entry point. Here's what's changing in publishing right now. More authors are realizing they don't need a publisher to reach readers. They can build their audience directly through newsletters, podcasts, social media, communities, and they can sell books directly to that audience, either self-published or through a hybrid publisher like Rondanini. When you sell direct to your audience, you keep way more money per copy. Instead of earning £1 per traditional print book, you might earn £5 to £8 on a direct sale or ebook. That changes the math entirely. You need fewer sales to be profitable, and you own the relationship with your reader, not the bookstore, not Amazon. This is why we talk about multimedia publishing as a model, because it's not just about making the book better, it's about changing the economic equation for the author. When you have a podcast audience, those listeners become book buyers. When you have music paired with your story, people discover you through music platforms. When you have community, members support your work through memberships, sponsorships, even direct purchases. The risk is distributed. The income is diversified, and you're not betting everything on a single book selling through traditional retail. So if you're listening to this and thinking, okay Luigi, I want to publish, but I need to make money, here's my honest advice. First, don't quit your day job expecting book revenue. Second, think about what assets your book creates. Can you teach a workshop based on it? Can you offer consulting? Can you speak about it? Can you build community around it? Third, build platform before you publish. The authors making money from books are almost never making it from book royalties alone. They're making it from the credibility and audience the book created. So don't wait until after publication to build audience. Start now. Fourth, consider your publishing path strategically. If you're building a lifestyle brand, multimedia publishing might make more sense than traditional. If you need bookstore credibility, traditional might be right. If you want maximum profit per copy and speed, self-publishing. But know what you're optimizing for, because each path has different returns. Fifth, remember that publishing is a long game. Your first book might not make money, but it's the credential for your second book. Your second book opens doors for your third. The authors making real income from publishing aren't making it on book 1, they are making it on books 3 and 5 and ongoing platform. So, here's what I want you to do this week. 1. Get real with yourself about why you're publishing. If it's for money, recalibrate. Plan to earn money from the ecosystem around the book, not the royalties. If it's for credibility, perfect. That's realistic. Build platform alongside publishing. If it's for audience, yes. That's how you create income from writing. 2. Head to essay.rondanini.com and read the essay on this episode. We break down real numbers from different publishing paths so you can see the actual math. 3. Use the publisher's break-even and pitch checklist at rondanini.com/publisher checklist to understand your specific numbers. Know your break-even point. Know what you need to earn. 4. Think about what comes after the book. If you had 5,000 engaged readers, what would you offer them? What problems could you solve for them? What would they pay for? That's where the money actually is. And 5th, if you're interested in building a multimedia approach to publishing, where the book is one format among many and the revenue is distributed across multiple streams, that's something we're exploring at Rondanini Publishing. Visit rondanini.com or reach out if you want to talk about how that might work for your project. Here's what I want you to remember. Publishing can change your life, just probably not through royalties alone, but it can establish you, credential you, open doors for you, build community around you, and from those things, real income can follow. The authors winning right now aren't the ones betting everything on book sales. They're the ones building ecosystems. They're the ones thinking multimedia. They're the ones understanding that the book is the beginning, not the end. So publish strategically, build platform authentically, create assets around your work, and understand the economics so you can play the game with eyes open. Next episode, we're talking about what happens after you sign that contract, the road from yes to bookshelf, and the reality behind the scenes. I'm Luigi Pascal Rondanini. Thanks for listening to Unseen Author Journeys. Keep writing, keep building, keep thinking strategically. See you next time.